Okay, so I wrote some things because I was given some interviews before. There's some of the same questions that was getting me all nervous, and I was gonna explain myself as far as I can. So, so the first question that I always get hit the first times were, tell us about yourself. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say my name is Hannah Funky. I'm very interested in, and it can vary, but my intended goal was to be a band director in a school. I want to also say I have autism, and this is day to day for me. This is like hard to explain. If you see my headphones, like this, means sometimes I have, it's a learning disability. A lot of times I have some situations with excessive loud sounds, like things that we can't control. And the number one that is a problem with most autistic kids, like myself, is sometimes the fire alarms. And if they blow party buses down in the school parking lot, that could be another issue. So that is for an employer to be aware of this. That someone's going to have our headphones to work every day. Or earplugs or something to protect our ears, because sometimes what might be loud for some people might be 10 times louder for the average person. So, but I'm not going to let any of this stop me. And also, I'm going to say this from my past too, that y'all should be aware of. Issues of the past that might have occurred. But I do get easily frightened. I used to get frightened with dogs. Like, it's actually to search dogs. You know, the canine unit. The best, okay, way to handle me, if you were to hire me, if a fire alarm, you make sure I got the earphones on. But sometimes the sound and the light can kind of cause people to get disoriented, like myself. And also, for the deputy dogs, it's best to have another faculty member to distract me. It just reminds me, hey, I gotta take care of my duties, make sure everybody's quiet in the halls, etc. You know, that's why it might be better to have uh, another adult to handle me in case of those situations. But I can be given a chance of being a professional. And also, I have been to school before, as you should know. I've been Fletcher from 2013 to 2015. I was studying business at the time, and till I got into academic probation in fall 2015. Then took a few years off and took a job and worked at TARC, Terrible Arc, for about 2 years. I went and did community band at Homo Terrible Community Band for about 8 years in total. So from 2012 to 2020, and everything stopped during COVID. And which brings me, and also I did Tart Bell Choir, so I did lead a group, by the way. That all stopped at 2020 in school. I decided to go back and get my education, and what happened was for this was it's like everything changes. So what was the turning point in my life, and why did I leave my job? The turning point was COVID. COVID changed everything. Let's put it to my own perspective. Because what it was, I wanted to do better for myself. And the reason why I quit my job because I was going back to school full time and the hours didn't work out as I hoped it would. And what happened, my turning point was going to school during COVID, and I had to deal with the first part being low academics because I came in with a 2.75 GPA at the first semester at Nichols was at that point. But I realized I had to be a lot more disciplined, get those grades up, and making sure the last 4 years to have had good standing, no probation, no anything like that, and make sure I've had additional standing with the Dean's List, President's List, and Honor Roll. Which was hard because it made me did a ton of reflecting, not just the first semester alone, but every semester consecutively. I had to do it everywhere. I said what went right, what didn't go right, what could have done better, etc. And kind of come up with a plan based on it. So, alright, so, and that all happened from this moment I stepped in that campus in 2020 to August 24th. That was what makes me qualified for band director. I took method classes throughout my 4 years, the brass, the winds, strings, percussion, and voice. So, because for instrumentals, we had to take those classes as part of the curriculum. And plus, I had been wanting to teach kids before or prior to working at TARC. So it kind of put me at a standpoint. Will I get certified as a teacher? I'm going to say yes. Yes, and here's why. Because I had professors who believed in me. I had my support system at home, which my sister, my mom, my dad, everybody I can imagine. But I think this can make everybody proud to the fact that I can stand up for myself and and to make a difference in somebody's life. So that's what I stand for. Okay. What school did I graduate from? What was my major? Okay. I'm going to say it confidently. School I graduated from is Nichols State University in music. Okay, so where do I see myself in 5 or 10 years from now? Okay, it's a tough question, but it's better to hear from my perspective. What I see myself is getting my master's degree in teaching and a teaching certification to have further jobs along the way. If I move out of state, I can recertify in that state, county, and all that. Just go through it all over again if I have to. And there's one question I didn't add on this one, but this one comes very loud and clear. Will I be able to take criticism? criticism, okay, and the way I would say yes on this one because the fact is I had been in music for 4 years, and constructive criticism was the definite way to get things accomplished. And criticism could be in all sort of forms, like whether it's the studio class. In studio class, we had to play. Or if you're a vocalist, you had to sing in front of your peers. Players singing in front of the peers, and and this happens usually before somebody, like around 1 or 2 studio classes before somebody performs. Like, my teacher is pretty famous for this one. And I say it out of love over there, Dr. Miranda, if you're listening on this video. We were allowed to say something positive first, like if there's something we liked about it. And let's say if there's something that the students think that a person could work on, like let's say if they like something, and because a lot of us take the good news first versus the bad news, because you don't want the bad stuff, because that's when people shut down altogether. So what it is, so we say we like something, okay, and the second part should already say that if there is something that needs attention, and we go around the room, I think it's on every Tuesday, if I remember correctly, so it's usually the students have to play twice for those things. And constructive the criticism kind of got based on the student's progress. And the professors are the last ones to say anything. So, and also, it's not just performances they do this for. They do this for midterms sometimes. If it's a midterm grade, you're going to play in front of studio class. If it's before a jury, you're going to play in front of studio class. But that's to overall help you with overcoming the fear. Because sometimes fear, and let's calibrate this into the real school position, that teachers get supervised by the administration, the principal, and sometimes it can be without notice, per se. If I was a teacher right now in the classroom, and my principal comes in the dang door, she announces him or her announces themselves, saying, "Hey, I'm coming to observe your class for today." So that's going to make me feel a lot more ready to accept criticism and to learn how to make improvements. And this comes also not just in the studio classes, not in the work environment, but also for me as a teacher to be able to give praise when it's necessary and criticism when it's needed. That way it will not upset a student as much, and it keeps, especially the overachievers, it keeps pushing them more. And that's one thing I take from everything. So see you later.